Today we're going to look at the exhaust, the new exhaust on the Ghia, and all of that stuff. But before we do, I'm going to throw out a few caveats about how the car is running now that the exhaust is on there. It is running cooler. I still am having heat issues at higher speeds, so around the 60-65 mile an hour range it was overheating without the exhaust. Now it's doing much better. So if I keep it slow, it's good. When I get up into the 70-75 range, it starts to overheat pretty quick. So anyway, still working on the timing. I had a phone call with the gentleman who built some pieces of the carbs that are in the car. And I told him what the system was, and before I told him any of the problems I was having, he went ahead and told me what problems I was having, and he was dead on the money. So it was kind of interesting to hear his knowledge and his thoughts on it. And so I'll kind of run through those very quickly if I can. The Cadron system, you have one carburetor for 2 cylinders, and he said what happens is on initial acceleration, you tend to have a flat spot if you have an 09 or 010, a mechanical advanced distributor. And he said the reason for that is it's a plenum system, and one cylinder is scavenging air out of the other. And he said it needs more timing at that initial acceleration. And he said you can get rid of that flat spot that everybody talks about in the Bosch 09s. You can get rid of that by advancing the timing. He said, set her up at 40 and let her rip, and he's absolutely right. You set it at 40 and it'll get right off the line, no problems, but it just starts to run really, really hot. So I've retarded the timing to 30 degrees right now. It's running okay. 32 it runs better, but runs hotter. So I'm trying to find that balance. But anyway, bottom line was I sent him some pictures of the carbs to see if they could be reversed back to a stock condition, and he's supposed to get back to me. I do have what I think are the original Venturis, and I may pop those in and see what we can do with those. So, we'll see. But he did say they were the wrong size components for that engine. So he said a pair of stock caddies would work a lot better. And he said a vacuum advance, what he does is sets a custom curve in the vacuum advance distributor, and that makes up for that need for advanced timing right at the start. And he said that really the only way you can tell the distributor that is not by RPM like a mechanical one works, but by vacuum. So when the vacuum changes, it changes the curve rather than RPM, simply because right when you step on the pedal, it's going to draw, or the vacuum. What is it? The vacuum goes away. Is that right? I can't remember. But he explained it all to me because there's a very large volume of air, and it drops the pressure. That is what it is. So the pressure drops. And he said that distributor, the vacuum advanced distributor, can sense that and go ahead and throw the extra timing into it to get you off the line, and then it calms back down, does whatever it does up in the higher registers. So anyway, that's the plan. We're probably going to go down that route, and I'm also fairly certain I'm going to go with a external oil cooler here in the near future. It's just kind of one step at a time. I just don't have time to do it all in a week. But the car is driving awesome with the new exhaust. You'll hear it. Check it out.
You son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, there it is. Stainless steel, 1 5/8" exhaust plus muffler from, hang on, AA Performance, AA Performance there. It was made in China. A little bitty hardware there. So we're going to get at it. We're going to take our old exhaust off, which is this Mexican Beetle style sort of collector thingy, and yeah, so we're going to remove that. Darren, it's out for good. Next thing we're going to do is take these heater boxes out, and there's 4 little screws under here. I already took them out, 2 on each side, and there's a couple 13mm nuts on the back side, so we'll go ahead and catch those. We've got both heat exchangers out. Now it's time for the first pieces of the Sidewinder J tubes. There's one with a tab on it. Yep, there we go. Maybe. One with a tab on it. One without. The one with the tab goes on the passenger side. She took some pushing and shoving, which you sort of expect with a new exhaust, but we're just drawing her in tight with the nuts here, and hopefully the next piece we'll do is the muffler. There she is. I don't know if anybody wants to see this or not, but I was looking down the barrel of this thing the other day just out of curiosity, and we'll see if we can put some light up here just so you can see what it is. There you go. Hopefully you guys can see sort of in there, but it's not super awesome in there. A little bit rough, but way better than the alternative over there in the corner. So all we have left to do is hang up our muffler here, so let's get busy on that. Oh. Isn't that nice? They provide a 13mm head on the bolt and a 14 on the nut, so that you don't have to have 2 13mm wrenches. Although I think most people who work on foreign cars tend to have 2 13s, 2 10s, 2 9s, 2 8s, that sort of thing. But awfully nice that they considered us that way. Rejetting the cadrons here, and just pop the top off. There's 6 screws here and a gasket. Then the floats back here, we need to take a look. Hopefully you guys can see this. The float sits back there. There's a little, whoops, sorry about the shaky cam. There's a little dog bone you got to pop out, and then the float comes out. And then the jet, again, don't know if you guys can see this. Jet's down there where the tip of my finger is. So we're going to pop that out real quick and change it over. We got 135s in there now. We changed from a Mexican Beetle type exhaust to a Sidewinder, and it definitely was running a little bit lean before we made that change. There we go, guys. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to pop that jet out of there. So there's our little jet. Pop that guy out. We're going to pop in, we're going from 135 to 145. Let's see how that does. let you guys hang out here while I do this. I'll go on record saying the deck lid springs in a Ghia make this job just a tick harder than it should be, but it's not really that hard. Doing a little spark plug read here. This is cylinder number 4. I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but we ran her up about 4,000 there and just pulled the ignition wire at 4,000 so that we stopped making spark and just let the engine wind down, cool down. And we're looking pretty chocolatey there, which I think is a good indicator that we've got good fuel mixture. I'll probably run several tests over the next few days just to make sure, but that looks pretty good. We'll pull all the other plugs and check them, but I won't bore you with that. We're about 2 weeks after I installed the exhaust, and I actually installed it in exact reverse order. I started at the J tubes in the back and worked my way around, and I think this was the last one I did, and then I did all the muffler and stuff. In fact, you want to start here at cylinder number 2 and install that piece, and then cylinder number 4, and then go, you know, it doesn't matter after that point, but I went 3 and then 1, and then did all the muffler work after that, and that seemed to go together much better. So I'm going to set you guys on the ground down here, and we're going to start the car up. got a little rub somewhere here that I can hear, but that sounds 1,000 times better now. We'll get her all tuned up, and then we'll give it another listen and a drive. Sorry about that, guys.